Hello everyone, today we're going to be reading Lawful Money 12, U.S.C. 411 Fair Use UCC-1308. Recap of Friday, March 29th, webinar. An intro to redeeming lawful money. Greetings everyone. Milo here with A.W.A.R.E-AreWeReallyEducated.com. I'm excited to share with you tonight some groundbreaking information to those who are not aware about how to get reimbursement back from the Treasury, the lawful way. People have been emailing me inquiring about how they can get reimbursement back. So I thought it would be great to share on this call how I and many others are getting refunded back from the Treasury and redeeming lawful money pursuant to 12 USC 411. This process will work for you if you have a job that pays you in checks and such or any form of deposits. You'll be able to utilize this lawful money redeeming process. We've got case laws to stand on these claims too. Disclaimer: the information I'm going to share with you tonight is for educational and entertainment purposes only. This knowledge is not to be understood as legal advice. If you seek legal advice, find yourself a competent lawyer or accountant to help you understand this lawful money process to use for your benefit. What is lawful money? In short, lawful money is your path to freedom. According to Investopedia, lawful money is any form of currency issued by the United States Treasury and not the Federal Reserve System. It includes gold and silver coins, and treasury notes, and treasury bonds. Lawful money stands in contrast to flat money, in which the government assigns value. Although it has no intrinsic value of its own and is not backed by reserves, flat money includes legal tender such as paper money, checks, drafts, and banknotes. Lawful money is also known as specie, which means in actual form. Breaking down lawful money. Are you aware? The dollar bills that we carry around in our wallets are not considered lawful money. The notation on the bottom of a US dollar bill reads legal tender, can be exchanged for an equivalent amount of lawful money, but macro effects such as inflation can change the value of flat money. Lawful money is said to be the most direct form of ownership, but for the purposes of practicality, it is of little use in breaking down lawful money, in direct transactions between parties. Breaking down lawful money. The Federal Reserve Act of 1913, which established the Federal Reserve System and authorizes it to issue Federal Reserve notes, states that Federal Reserve notes shall be obligations of the United States and shall be receivable by all national and member banks and Federal Reserve banks, and for all taxes, customs, and other public dues. They shall be redeemed in lawful money, on demand, and at the Treasury Department of the United States, in the city of Washington, District of Columbia, or at any Federal Reserve Bank. However, the Act did not explicitly define what lawful money meant, since some currencies that could be used by national banking associations as lawful money reserves were not considered a legal tender. Congress amended the Federal Reserve Act in 1933 to include all U.S. coins and currency as legal tender for all purposes. The 1933 amendment extended the power of legal dissension on whether paper money and reserves of the Federal Reserve Bank are lawful money. Breaking down lawful money. While some argue that Federal Reserve notes are lawful money, others tend to disagree. Since the U.S. Constitution states no state shall make anything but gold and silver. Coin. A tender in payment of debts. Some believe that this is the definition of lawful money, and thus any payment other than gold or silver is not considered lawful money in effect. The primary meaning of lawful money is legal tender, but a broader interpretation is frequently applied in certain contexts. Gold is money. Everything else is credit. Cash, J.P. Morgan. Testifying to Congress in 1912, supporting case laws. Federal Reserve notes are dual-purpose notes. Volume 20, Action 31, Book American Jurisprudence, Acts of Congress, Westlaws, LexisNexis-82, Cases on Lawful Money, Not Many Know. Case 1982, Lewis v. Page, 1239, How to Read Court Case. Redeem lawful money on Form 1040 pursuant to United States Currency Code, Title 12 Banking Codes. The IRS Form 1040 changed on line 6 on the second page. You enter your income as a negative number by putting the income amount to redeem in parentheses. You can redeem funds for the entire year and get lawful money. So if you are claiming lawful money for this year, 2019, you'll enter the entire 2019 gross income on line 6. On the new 1040 form, to read lawful money is on Schedule 1. Additional income on line 21. Enter the entire income for 2019 and write it as a negative number. The demand for lawful money is written on line 21 as well and duplicated on line 22. State returns are on last pages of Form 1040. Observe that standard deductions are also accounted for both federal and state. Introduction on lawful money. For example, purposes, let's say John Doe owes back taxes from 2017 of $6,000. Because John Doe endorsed Fed notes in 2017 and did not pay his legitimate taxes for a few months that year, therefore the IRS is expected to deduct what John Doe owes from the total amount they are sending back. So, let's say they took $20,000 from John Doe for taxes in 2018. Since John Doe owes them from 2017, they would be sending John Doe back $14,000 because they deducted the $6,000 from the $20,000. Is that comprehensible? Next year, John Doe will get 100% of his withholdings back forever moving forward. He'll never have to lose $1 to the IRS again as long as John Doe continues redeeming lawful money. With this lawful money process, this is how we end the feds. Tax filing update for lawful money. The IRS changed Form 1040 on line 21 prior to tax filing for 2018. The line 21 other income lawful money deduction with the amount redeemed for the year in parentheses X. In the line 21 with other steps required is all there to properly claim the lawful money redeemed for the entire year to get your money back and not subjected to income tax. On line 21, this has changed on Form 1040. Other income is no longer exist. The IRS has added schedule for one to fill out if his taxes are more complicated than the normal American who endorsed the Federal Reserve all year, has no other means of income, deductions, credits, editor. As photoed above. Pay attention to the language. We conclude that we will be making our claim for lawful money deduction on Schedule Number 1 or Schedule Number. Given the nature of lawful money and based on the language used in the IRS schedules, how to write the non-endorsement for lawful money. This process is simple and will work for you if you have a job that pays you by check and works when you deposit cash into your bank account. Non-endorsement on checks and cash deposit. On the back of checks or on the back of cash deposit slips. You simply write verbiage which is following. Redeem in lawful money per 12 U.S.C. 411 by. Autograph your name in red ink. All rights reserved without prejudice. UCC. Note. Autograph your name in red ink followed by all rights reserved without prejudice. UCC 1308. How to redeem lawful money using direct deposit. Makes copies of your pay stubs. On the copies, you'll write the redemption verbiage and make copies of that. You'll keep the original copies and send the second copies in with your tax filing. The purpose of writing the non-endorsement on the check is to record it for tax purposes, so you need to deposit the check with the non-endorsement written on it. in blue ink. Autographing your name in red ink. If you just sign it with only your signature, then you are endorsing Fed notes. Even if you cash the check, you still need to non-endorse it and make a copy that the check you cashed, or also write the non-endorsement on the check stub, as well as you can file it with your taxes. There is nothing to be afraid of at the bank. Those employees don't even know what a Federal Reserve note is, and they handle them all day. The banking system is set up that way on purpose, so that they have uneducated sheepy working at the bank. Try going into a different bank and don't say a word. Just deposit the check act nonchalant about it. Act nonchalant about it, as if you do it all the time. Just hand over the check and say, "I'm making a deposit." That's it. The teller might look at the check for a minute, but will deposit the check unless you say something and ruin it. Just trust they will say nothing. And if they ask you what you wrote, simply say it's for tax recording purposes. How to redeem the lawful money to get refunded back from the Treasury. Redeeming lawful money on Form 1040. During tax season, you can claim lawful money by redeeming it on IRS Form 1040.